controversial opinion. It shouldn't even be controversial, but I love this mac and cheese. My mom never understood why I liked it so much, and she would get like other, pasta brands and stuff like that. Maybe because she knows how unhealthy it is, because it does require a lot of, butter and milk and stuff like that. So, bit of a nostalgic treat. This video was curated so that I, don't devour this all in like 3 minutes, because I can devour this in 3 minutes. It probably will. So, I'm gonna show you guys the book that I just finished and the next books I plan to read. So let's get into it. So I finished Station 11, finally. I wish I could get the whole book in the frame, but my food's right here. So this is gonna have to do Station 11 without. I wonder if I should give spoilers. You know what? I won't give spoilers. The only thing I will say is that I wish the book focused more on what the book advertised it to be. Let's just say this book has a very, very interesting concept to it, but sometimes they just keep going back and forth with other ideas, and I wasn't the biggest fan of it, because I thought I was signing up for a sci-fi book. And instead it was more like a sci-fi, literary fiction, drama book. But I do think it is a book that if you do like sci-fi, you should read, because the world that Emily built is actually pretty cool. And it's also around some areas that I'm personally familiar with, so there's that. Now, I have 5 books that technically I'm going to, read this month, but I'm gonna go over the ones that I'm not reading yet. And some of them are gonna be like cult classics, and others gonna be like, that book exists. So I'm gonna start from least popular to most popular. So the next book I'm gonna read is The Maidens by Alexander Michaelides. Lides, I don't know, but this is one of the first books I actually bought from Barnes & Noble when I started my reading journey. This is a thriller book, although it may not seem it. This book is about, basically there's this guy who is a serial, I don't even know you can say the word on YouTube. He is if you guys can see it, yep. And essentially there's this girl who's trying to save her niece or something like that. I originally got it because back when I was starting reading, I just grabbed any book that looked cool, honestly. That was my big thing. So, The Maidens by Alex. Looking forward to it. I do think Goodreads can be a bit harsh on certain books. I don't think they're, certain books get kind of flack for not having certain ideas. Implement it my gripes with it. It's not bad. And I think that, you know, Goodreads can be a lot more harsher with things like that. But regardless, I'm looking forward to it. Ooh, that was gonna fall. Yeah, I could tell. The next book I'm looking forward to is called The Snow Child by, I want to say this is Owen Ivy, but that was probably pronounced wrong anyway. Owen Ivy. But I'm looking forward to this book as well, because I originally thought that this was a historical fiction, but it seems like it's more of a fantasy novel. But the cover was really what drew me to it. I can't show all of it, but this cover is amazing. Essentially, back in the 1920s, there's this couple who was really trying to have a child, and you know, they're having their own trials and tribulations. The wife in particular is going through a dry spell with her husband. She's very agitated. She's borderline, you know, depresso. You know, once again, I don't know if YouTube's gonna demonetize if I say the actual word, but she's going through it. And upon building a snowman one day, there's this kid that just randomly spawns and the snowman is gone. And of course, you know, they're delighted, but it comes with its own problems. Oh, this is good. Okay. So, the next book I wanted to read is Dan Simmons' Hyperion. Now, I feel like I put this on a TBR, a to be read, in one of my earlier videos, but for some reason I just keep putting this one off. I think it's just because of the first sentence of the prologue. It's such a mind-boggling statement that I always just put it back down. I don't know. Actually, no, I do know why, and I'm going to show you guys. You guys are going to read the first sentence with me. I don't know if you guys can see that. The Hegemony Council sat on the balcony of his ebony spaceship and played Rachmaninoff. Oh my god. So from my perspective, it's pretty blurry, but I'm sure you guys can just see this sentence here. It's so mind-boggling that I always end up putting it back down. I would suggest you pause and read it for yourself if you're interested. I was kind of going back and forth because it looked like it was going to fall over again. This stuff is good. I don't care what my mom says. The next book, probably the most famous book, one of the most famous books from a famous series, The Hobbit, J.R.R. Tolkien. Now, this is going to sound crazy, but I never actually watched or read anything about The Lord of the Rings or The Hobbit. Never watched a movie, a TV show. All I know is that there's a dragon and there's a Hobbit, and that's about it. So I really want to get into this world, but I really want to read the books before I get into the films. Although I heard the films are just as good, if not as good as the series written. I actually don't have a lot to say about it because I want to be blown away when I read this book. And actually, I did read the prologue, and the prologue already felt right for a novel. I can't explain it right. The prologue makes me feel like, you know, like I'm already getting ready to go on an adventure. I can't explain it. And that was the 4th book. So the 5th book I'm gonna read. And this was heavily, and I mean heavily, recommended by my female friends at work. Recommended by, I'm pretty sure if you went on Goodreads, this would be the book that everybody wants you to read by this particular author. I am reading A Court of Thorn and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. Sarah J. Maas is an anomaly because she has 3 very, very popular book series. And every time I ask someone what's her most favorite or what's her most popular series, it's always a different answer. Some say the Crescent City series with House and Earth and Blood. Others say a Thorn. Of course, a Court of Thorn and Roses. And another one can say A Throne of Glass. And I think all of them are getting shows, which is mind-boggling to me. She is rolling in dough right now. And I think the craziest thing about Sarah J. Maas is how, I think the best word I can say is how devoted she is to her writing. And I know it sounds silly, but she was writing all 3 series at one point, and I don't think I could even keep up with that. It sounds insane to me. Now with Stephen King, and I'm always going to go back to Stephen King because Stephen King, he writes a lot of standalone books, but his series typically span over like 20 years or something like that. Sorry about that. My throat was kind of graggly again. But it takes Stephen King a long time to actually write series, but she's writing 3 at once, and it sounds crazy to me. As an aspiring author and someone who is writing, I do have a series in mind, and I am writing it now, but after that, I feel like standalones would just be the way to go. I don't think I could ever bring myself to write multiple series at the same time. That is so much research and overlapping time, you know? It's crazy. So thank you guys for stopping by and, you know, hearing me rant. It really means a lot to me. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. It really does mean a lot. And I'm gonna see you guys in the next one, okay?